Okay, now that you have all the pages numbered, let's show you how we're going to actually start a section here in physics class. This is how we start the physics journal. Well, it's going to start with your book. And as you can see, we're starting with Chapter 1, Section 1. So, we're going to put that in the table of contents. So, section. Make sure you get to the front. So, Chapter 1. Or if you want to be fancy, you can use Roman numerals. I'm going to indent a little bit. We're going to say Section 1. And then we're going to write the title of the section. Reaction time. Responding to road hazards. And that's going to be on page 1. Simple. You just start a table of contents. So since we're starting on page 1, let's go to page 1. And we will write Chapter 1, Section 1. And the title is Responding to Road Hazards. And what we'll do is we'll underline this baby so we know, we'll underline all the way across so we know that we're starting a whole new section. Now, a very important part of each section is the learning outcomes. That's usually written here in blue over on the left-hand side. I want you to write those in your book. I know they're in the textbook, but I want you to write them in your notebook so you know what it is you're trying to do. And this way, I know at least you looked at it. So, learning outcomes. You never start off on an experiment without knowing exactly what you're going to do or why you're doing it. Never do an experiment unless you know how you're going to interpret the results or expecting what it is you're going to find. So, learning outcomes in this case. 1, it says measure reaction time using one of 2 different methods. Number 2. So, number 2 says, compare the different methods of measuring reaction time. Number 3, compare the reaction times of your classmates. And number 4, investigate how distractions affect reaction time. So I'm going to write those in there. Compare the different methods of measuring reaction time. And number 3 is to compare the reaction times of your classmates. Compare the reaction times classmates. And number 4 is to investigate how distractions affect reaction time. Investigate how reactions affect, that's with an A, affect, reaction time. So there. Learning outcomes. This is important. So you should make a box around it. I want to see those under every section. So before we've done anything, we've written chapter and section, the title of the section, and what the learning outcomes should be. So this is how you're going to start off each experiment. And the first thing that you're going to do is we're going to look at the what do you think section. So it's going to ask you a question. The first thing we're going to do is look at the what do you think section. And it'll ask you a question. What factors affect the time you need to react to an emergency situation while driving? So I want you to think about that and answer this question in your lab book. So, since this section is titled, What Do You Think?, these big blue titles here need to also correspond to your notebook. So I'll start with that. What do you think? And we'll underline it. I told you, have a straight edge handy. So, the question is, what factors affect the time you need to react to an emergency situation while driving? Now, we want to answer questions in full sentences. So, you can either rewrite the question, which could be long, or you could somehow make it into a sentence. So I would say that there are many factors that affect reaction time while driving. Some examples are, and then you'll put in whatever examples you think they are. Now, it's not important that you be right here. What it is, it's important that you write down what you think, because we can always go back and change this. That's kind of part of what we're investigating. So, why don't you go ahead and finish answering that question, and we'll take it from there in class.